Welcome back to Moments of Love, and today's loving tale is O is for opera, in a grand old city where cobblestone streets wound their way between historic buildings and every corner seemed to hum with history. There was a theater. It was a place of elegance and beauty where velvet curtains and crystal chandeliers set the stage for performances that stirred the soul. Among the many who frequented the theater was a young woman named Clara. Clara was not wealthy, nor was she famous. She was a seamstress by trade, her hands skilled in stitching together fabrics into garments that adorned the city's elite. But she had a passion that set her apart, an unwavering love for opera. Though she could rarely afford a ticket, she would stand outside the theater on evenings when the performances took place, just to hear the faintest strains of music filtering through the doors. One evening, as Clara lingered outside the grand entrance, she noticed an older gentleman watching her from a distance. He was well dressed, with silver hair and a kind face, but there was something sorrowful in his eyes. He approached her and introduced himself as Signor Vittorio, a retired conductor who had once graced the world's most prestigious opera houses. Vittorio had noticed Clara's presence on many a night and was touched by her dedication to the art he had devoted his life to. He invited her to sit with him in the theater's gallery, where he still held a reserved seat. Clara hesitated, but the pull of the music was too strong, and she graciously accepted. As the curtains rose that night, Clara was enveloped by the music, her heart swelling with every note. The performance was Verdi's La Traviata, a story of love and sacrifice that resonated deeply within her. For the first time, she saw the emotions behind the music, the longing, the joy, the heartbreak, and it was as if the world had opened up before her in ways she had never imagined. After the performance, Clara and Vittorio walked together through the quiet streets, discussing the opera's themes and characters. She discovered that Vittorio, too, had known love and loss, his wife having passed away many years ago. The two became fast friends, their shared passion for opera bridging the gap between their ages and experiences. Weeks turned into months, and Clara found herself spending more and more time with Vittorio. He began to teach her about the history of opera, the techniques of the singers, and the subtleties of the compositions. But there was something else growing between them, something unexpected and beautiful. Clara had begun to develop feelings for Vittorio that went beyond friendship. One evening, as they sat together in the theater watching Puccini's Madama Butterfly, Clara felt tears welling up in her eyes. The tragic story of love and betrayal mirrored the emotions she had been grappling with. As the final notes of the opera hung in the air, she turned to Vittorio and confessed her feelings. Vittorio, surprised but deeply moved, took her hand. He had long since believed that love was something that had passed him by. But in Clara, he found a kindred spirit, someone who understood the depths of his soul. He confessed that he too had grown to love her, not just for her passion for opera, but for the way she had brought light back into his life. Their love was unconventional, but it was true. They continued to attend the opera together, each performance deepening their bond. And as time went on, Clara's dream of creating her own opera, a love story inspired by their own, began to take shape. With Vittorio's guidance, she composed the music, wrote the libretto, and eventually the opera was performed on the very stage where they had first sat together. The premiere of Clara's opera was a triumph, not just because of the music, but because of the love story that had inspired it. The audience was moved to tears, not knowing that the real-life story behind the composition was just as poignant. And so, Clara and Vittorio's love continued to grow, nurtured by the music they both cherished. Their story became a legend in the city, a testament to the power of love and the magic of opera.